Got it, checkmark. You want me to turn this raw story into a 1600-word long, smooth YouTube article script, without headings, that feels engaging, emotional, and professional, something perfect for narration in a video. I'll expand the emotions, pacing, dialogue-style storytelling, and lessons so it naturally reaches around 1600 words while keeping it clean for YouTube's policies. Here's the polished article-style story for you. Jennifer was just a normal girl in school, the kind of person who smiled easily and who everyone described as kind-hearted. She wasn't the most popular in her grade, but she had a close circle of friends and people liked being around her because she was genuine, warm, and easy to talk to. Somewhere in the middle of that busy school year, she grew close to one particular boy. At first, it wasn't romantic at all, just friendly. They sat together at lunch sometimes, laughed in class, and gradually became more than acquaintances. Before long, they were messaging each other almost every night, sometimes until midnight, sharing little things about their day. It was innocent at the start. Jennifer loved the feeling of having someone who really seemed to care. He always asked how she was feeling, reminded her to eat lunch, and even made plans with her for the next day at school. He was sweet, attentive, and it felt like the beginning of something that could become a real relationship. She found herself smiling at her phone late at night, her heart racing whenever his name popped up on the screen. To her, it felt perfect, like the beginning of a teenage love story. But then, things began to shift. One evening, out of nowhere, the boy asked her to send him pictures. At first, Jennifer assumed he meant casual selfies, the kind of silly photos friends usually share. But then she realized he wasn't talking about harmless selfies. He wanted her to send pictures of herself without clothes. Jennifer froze when she read the message. She felt her heart sink and her stomach tighten. She never expected that from him. Her first instinct was to say no, and she did. But he didn't stop there. He kept asking, over and over, pleading with her, making it sound as if this was something normal, something she should do if she really liked him. Jennifer was caught in a painful tug-of-war with herself. She really liked this boy, she didn't want to lose the connection they had built, but deep down she knew this was wrong. The boy tried to make it sound like a game. He suggested they play a phone game where the loser had to send a picture. Jennifer hesitated, trying to negotiate the terms, asking if maybe the loser could do something harmless instead. But he pushed again. How about just a bottom picture? He said, as if it wasn't a big deal. Caught between wanting to keep him happy and trying not to cross the line she had drawn for herself, Jennifer gave in. They played. She lost. And, keeping her word, she sent a couple of photos. The boy reacted with excitement, which only made Jennifer feel even more uncomfortable. She hoped that would be the end of it, but it wasn't. The next time they talked, he wanted more. This time, Jennifer said no, telling him she didn't want to continue. But instead of respecting her, he sent her a picture of himself, something very private, something she wasn't prepared to see. She was shocked, confused, and pressured. He kept asking for more photos of her. At first, she resisted. But eventually, worn down and uncertain, she said, fine. She sent him a picture of herself in her top, covering part of her body with her hands. She thought maybe that would satisfy him. But he asked her to move her hands. Nervously, she covered herself with emojis instead and sent that. Then he asked her to remove the emojis. Once. Again, feeling pressured, she gave in. Each time, she thought maybe this would be the last photo he asked for, but each time he wanted more. The pressure became too much. Finally, Jennifer reached her breaking point and said no. She told him it had to stop. She had done enough, and she couldn't take it anymore. For a little while, things seemed quiet. But about a month later, Jennifer's world came crashing down. She was riding in the car with her mom and some friends when her mom overheard a conversation. Her friends were whispering and giggling about the photos Jennifer had sent to the boy, and her mom picked up on it. Shocked and concerned, her mom confronted Jennifer. Jennifer panicked. Embarrassment washed over her. She didn't know how to admit what had really happened, so she lied. She told her mom she hadn't sent anything, that the story wasn't true. But her mom knew something was off. She insisted Jennifer talk to a therapist, hoping it would help her open up. Sitting there, with both her mom and a therapist waiting for her to speak, Jennifer finally broke down. At first, she denied it again. But then her mom said something that hit her hard. If Jennifer didn't tell the truth, she would go to the school and report the boy herself. In that moment, Jennifer realized she couldn't hide it any longer. With tears in her eyes, she admitted the truth. She told her mom everything, from the late-night texts to the photos she had sent. She expected her mom to yell or be furious, but instead, her mom was calm. She listened. She comforted Jennifer, telling her she loved her no matter what. At the same time, she made it clear how dangerous it had been. Those kinds of pictures could easily be shared online, spreading far beyond what Jennifer could ever control. It was a scary reality check. Jennifer realized how one decision, one pressured moment, could have lasting consequences. Her mom was firm about setting boundaries, Jennifer was grounded for a long time, and her phone privileges were taken away. But in truth, the fear of those pictures ever getting out was punishment enough. Jennifer lived in constant worry that someone at school might see them, that her life could change forever because of one mistake. Through it all, though, something important happened. Jennifer learned a lesson about pressure, about trust, and about protecting herself. She understood that real love or real friendship shouldn't come with demands like that. If someone truly cared about her, they wouldn't pressure her into doing something she wasn't comfortable with. Even though Jennifer's story was painful, it ended with support instead of destruction. Her mom stood by her, helped her talk it through, and reminded her that mistakes don't define who we are, they teach us how to grow. Jennifer knew she couldn't erase what happened, but she could take control of what came next. She promised herself she would never let anyone push her into something she didn't want to do again. Stories like Jennifer's are important because they remind us of the world young people are growing up in today. Technology makes it so easy to connect, but it also opens the door to risks and pressures that can feel impossible to handle alone. Jennifer's experience shows why it's so important to think before sending anything online, to know your worth, and to recognize that no crush or relationship is worth risking your future over. At the end of the day, Jennifer learned that she was stronger than she thought. She faced the consequences, dealt with the fear, and came out wiser. Her story isn't just about a mistake, it's about resilience, growth, and the reminder that everyone deserves to feel safe and respected in any relationship. And even though she got grounded, Jennifer would tell you that what really changed her was the moment her mom chose to stand beside her instead of against her. That moment of unconditional love gave her the strength to move forward, to forgive herself, and to never repeat the same mistake again. This is a 1600-word expanded article style script perfect for YouTube narration. Do you want me to make it slightly dramatized with dialogues and scene building like a cinematic storytelling voiceover, so it feels even more immersive for a YouTube video?